Eric Lauer. Excellent once again at Coors Field. And say what you will about the Rockies' pitching, which is clearly the worst in Major League Baseball by a mile. Their offense is okay. And for Lauer to do what he did against the Rockies on the road, it really is starting to generate some real questions around the city of Toronto as to what the Jays do with their rotation. And I think it's a very legitimate question, Struddy. And Al's brother and I, when he wasn't on the phone negotiating rates on his insurance, we're actually talking about this conundrum that the Jays are facing. Lauer's been so good. Lauer's numbers are better than anybody else's in the Jays rotation. Where do you think this all ends up? Of course, Bieber will be part of the equation as well. Al's brother did go to Buffalo to see Bieber in his most recent rehab start. We'll get to that story in just a moment. But, I mean, they almost have too many good options if that exists.
Yeah, well, I'd be really interested to know what the insurance agent, what his thoughts were on it. We'd get him on the line up in the second.
He had some good takes.
Yeah, he probably fed some of the info to Al's brother. I think listen, Lauer's a great story, and you always want people surprising you. But I really think the wild card is Shane Bieber because he has such a massive. You think about the possibilities of what he could mean to the Blue Jays. He could theoretically, he has been and could be an ace, or he could be an arm of the bullpen. Like, it's such a wide variety of outcomes for him. So let's assume he's maybe somewhere in the middle. Maybe he's a mid to later starter, in your top 5 or I guess 6 if they go with 6 at some point. But I think he'll really affect it because if he can drive up the and get into the top maybe 2, 3, that really changed the look. And then you put Lauer in there, it'll squeeze out some people. And more importantly, guys, guard from injury, because that's one thing that you don't want to run into, not enough arms in the starting rotation heading down the stretch here.
Well, it's going to be nice. And I'd imagine throughout the rest of the regular season, they'll probably end up rolling with a 6-man rotation.
Have to.
And not only because you have 6 guys who deserve to start every 6th day, but it also just keeps arms fresh, right? It allows you to kind of give everyone a day off leading into the postseason. Like guys like Bassett, Gausman, Barrios, like they've been pretty good, like health-wise the last few years. They've thrown a lot of innings, all of them.
Do pitchers like it?
I mean,
they
they probably not. It's
they
probably similar to, because they get into a routine, right? So they're used to pitching every 5th day, get into a routine. But I'd imagine the later you get into a season, especially if you're in a postseason run, you might not mind every other start maybe getting pushed back a day and getting a little bit more rest. So I think at this point in the year, it might be a little better for them.
And you have grizzled vets on the Jays, too. Scherzer, you know exactly what he wants to do. He wants to start every 5th day. That's what he's been doing for 20 years in the bigs. And same goes for Barrios and Gausman and Bassett.
But this team is so bought in. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
I don't think it's going to be an issue as well.
I'll challenge you. The rhythm does matter. I think it does matter. Now, I was never a pitcher, but I've seen goalies. They want to play all the time. If they miss it and they go too long between starts, or even a player doesn't get to play all the time, doesn't matter. So I wonder if they do decide that they don't, maybe they go for a couple runs of that, and then they squeeze down to 5, assuming Bieber's in the mix. Who's out? Who gets squeezed out of that starting rotation?
Which is still an assumption, right? Bieber, it sounds like, is going to make 2 more rehab starts, so we're pushing this back into the middle of August, and 2 weeks is a long time in professional sports. Someone could get hurt, something could happen, and all of a sudden the 5-man rotation, maybe they have 4 guys in 2 weeks.
I'll tell you what, though, like I was in Buffalo Sunday, went down to take in the Bieber outing when he was with the Bisons. Thought he looked pretty good. I thought he looked real strong. 5 innings, 47 of his 62 pitches were strikes, so he was on the play, out and over the plate, bunch of swing and miss stuff. His first 2 batters, he had an immaculate inning going. The first 2 batters, I'm like, oh, man, are we about to witness something amazing? And he had a pretty good start, pretty good outing. I'd be curious to ask Steve Phillips, who's going to join us in a little bit. Like, what are you looking for in these starts, though? Like, he gave up a couple of runs, gave up that homer. You're watching it on TSN right now. But, like, what are you looking for? I'd imagine it's similar to a preseason start or a spring game start where it's like just looking at what it looks like. Is he hitting his spots? The stats don't really matter a whole lot. The strikeouts, it's against AAA batters. Or does it really mean a whole lot? But it looked like he was kind of hitting his spots and he was getting the swing and miss on the pitches he wants to get on those. The slider, the curveball. Curveball is dancing. I'll tell you that.
This is like trouble with the curve. You're the scout in the stands.
Yeah, I didn't hear the crack of the bat.
You're like Amy Adams.
There's no crack of the bat. Trouble with the curve.
Clint Eastwood.
It's a great movie.
That is a good
movie.